So I'm here with Karen Nussbaum, who's in charge of Working America, which is the AFL-CIO organization that is building up working class people and building a movement of
Yep.
working class people around the country. Wanted to talk to you about how do we go about in this age where we have so many red state Tea Party districts where grassroots people who we think should know who is responsible for the consequences of the economic distress actually are blaming President Obama and progressive policies rather than the conservative policies that they in fact keep voting for. How do you begin to turn that around?
We asked ourselves that question 10 years ago. How do we reach working class moderates who seem to be voting against their own interests or don't have an entry point into the progressive movement at all? How do you reach them? How do you give them a different framework and see whether we can build out the progressive movement among working class moderates? And so we decided that we had to talk to them face to face, meet them eye to eye, discuss what their economic problems were, and how do you just say that, well, you know what, it's not the immigrant worker at the warehouse who's bringing down the economy, it's Wall Street or corporate elites. So we decided to do that. We've been going door to door in working class neighborhoods for 10 years, and it's been a huge success. Everywhere we go, everywhere we talk to people, we knock on doors, we skip the union doors because those folks already have an organization. We talk to people who aren't in a union, who are working class moderates for the most part, about good jobs and a just economy, and say part of the solution is we need strength in numbers. Join Working America and we can fight the corporate elites who are destroying our democracy. And 2 out of 3 people join. 2 out of 3 people say, yeah, I'm with you, I agree, I didn't think about it that way. So, and that's true whether we're in Tampa, Florida, or Toledo, Ohio, or Tacoma, Washington, all over the country. So we've now got 3.3 million members. They're people who otherwise are not in the progressive movement, but they totally agree with us. They take action, they become part of the solution, and they also vote for our endorsed candidates as well.
What works most effectively in terms of the issues that you stress?
2 things. One is we talk about the economic issues, and it's a real discussion. We go to a door and we'll say, you know, which of these issues matters the most to you? Good jobs, healthcare, retirement, security. And then it's a discussion. You'll say, well, good jobs is my issue. And I'll say, well, let's talk about what the problem is here in Ohio around good jobs. And so it's a discussion that draws people in. It's not a rap that tries to pigeonhole someone into your own agenda. The other, so it's a real discussion that starts with the concerns of the person. The other part of this is we tell the truth. My belief, and that's the true of Working America, is that the way you hit the center is that you go to the left. That you don't need to moderate what's going on. You don't need to find what has been focus group tested as the most centrist answer. The most effective answer is the one that really points to who's to blame. And almost always it's corporate lobbyists who have distorted our democracy.
And everything I've seen is that when you start focusing on the Wall Street, how corporate interests and Wall Street have sort of rigged the government in ways that don't work for working people, that gives you a lot of common ground to work with progressives.
And not with the folks at the door too.
Right, right.
Folks at the doors that we knock on. Fox News is on the TV, right behind the screen door, and most of the homes, maybe all.
Mm-hmm.
These are folks who we aren't reaching otherwise, but they're not dumb. They've got, they live their lives. They're looking for someone to give them an alternative explanation. And that's what Working America is able to do. And then it opens up all kinds of doors.
Right. What is, if there were one thing that, those of us who are sort of messengers, spear carriers for progressive ideas, if there was one thing that we needed to get better at, it's what?
Not make assumptions about who's with us and who isn't with us. Not start with the whole package of what it means to be a progressive. If you're with us on corporate accountability, well, let's start there and let's talk about corporate accountability and let's build out from there. If you're with us on outsourcing, that corporations shouldn't be allowed to destroy communities and make profits overseas and never repatriate the taxes, great, let's start there. And let's build common cause around economic issues. And then as people experience power around economic issues, then they become much more open to a broader agenda.
I covered the Jesse Jackson campaign back in 1988, and as you recall, his theme was this idea of a rainbow coalition. You have the elements of the rising American, what we call now the rising American electorate, paired together with white working class voters. That's a dream in your mind that can be very much real if we work at it.
Yeah. I'm very optimistic because every night Working America organizers have thousands of conversations with white working class moderates. And 2/3 of the people become members of Working America, say, yeah, I agree with you. Be my voice on this. That's a lot of support out there. It's our job to organize it.
Well, I really appreciate all the work that you're
Great.
doing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.